Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another book review this time. It isn't Deep Purple, but there is a small connection, not overly tenuous, but this is Simon Robinson. Although it's not him, he's not the author of the book I'm going to show you, but he's behind this. Easy on the Eye. This was the Deep Purple in Rock book, which I featured when I did a big video on the In Rock album. And I featured it because of how detailed it was. And it was there was nothing else left to say about that album beyond this book. There just isn't. Well, this is another Easy on the Eye book by Simon Robinson. And this is called Boom, 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 the American Rhythm and Blues Photographs of Brian Smith from 1962 to 1966, a mere 4-year period. And if you're into the blues boom from the late 60s, mid 60s, as this is, and yes, there is a picture of Reggie Blackmore in here. There's pictures of loads of people in here. I'm going to go through the book so you get a real feel for it. I think that's probably the best way of bringing this home to you, just how special and amazing this book is. But if you have any interest in music from this period, especially the UK, I think you're going to love this. Anyway, let's dive in and I'll show you what it's like. This is a look inside Boom, 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 American Rhythm and Blues Photographs of Brian Smith, England, 1962 to 1966. This is from Easy on the Eye Books, which of course, as I just mentioned, is from Simon Robinson, behind Darker Than Blue, Deep Purple fan club. And those of you who saw my book on In Rock, my video even, on looking back at the album Deep Purple in Rock, will know I showed you this fantastic book about Deep Purple in Rock, and it's absolutely essential. The reason why I'm showing it you now is those of you who know this book and know Simon Robinson, Easy on the Eye books, they are so detailed. There is nothing left, no stone left unturned. And so everything you want to know. And of course, there is a Machine Head book coming out soon. But this book is all about the blues boom in the UK from 1962 to 1966. I'm hoping I might talk to Brian Smith at some point. But I'm showing you the In Rock one because as I flick through some of this is more picture heavy because this is what it's about. It's about the blues photographs of Brian Smith, but it's absolutely amazing. I'm not going to go through every single page, but to just give you a feel for it really. The foreword is by Paul Jones, but it is a wonderful piece of music archaeology. When you start to see, Brian puts his story down here, how he got involved, and these photographs, and I love the way that some of the adverts, and as you just saw there, a picture of the kind of camera that was used. And I say Brian's stories in there, and then one about the venues, and some of these pictures of people from the time is just fantastic. And then we've got the artists. And this is where you start to see the pictures really come to life. Chuck Berry, backstage, on stage, live, pictures of the albums and singles from the time, the backing musicians, Big Mama Thornton, Larry Wallace, Johnny Guitar Watson. It's also great to see these vintage guitars as well. Buddy Guy, he's still going now, but here he is in 1964 playing in London. Absolutely amazing stuff. J.B. Lenore and Muddy Waters. So all of the blues classics here. Eddie Boyd, have just gone past. Absolutely Millie Small, Ray Charles, John Lee Hooker. And then lots of pictures here of single covers. Big Joe Turner, The Chants, Jimmy Reed and the Groundhogs, Bo Diddley, Dr. Isa Ross, Little Richard. And the pictures are fantastic. Fred McDowell. This is a great book. Howlin' Wolf. Just absolutely blues legends. Jimmy Reed as well. This is absolutely amazing. Willie Dixon, Fat Domino, Eddie Taylor. The pictures are fantastic. if you're into the blues boom from the UK and how it influenced so many classic bands, you know, from Cream, Three, Shirelles here, Gary U.S. Bonds, and of course, these people have all passed on now. Jimmy Lee, apart from Buddy Guy, is still playing. But it's amazing. T-Bone Walker, Screaming Jay Hawkins as well. Some of these pictures are fantastic. Chuck Jackson, Carter Lewis, Julie Grant, Bill Haley. It's great to see that as well. Carl Perkins. Some great pictures. Dwayne Eddy. How many of us had the Dwayne Eddy learn to play the guitar? And of course the Rolling Stones as well. Nashville Teens, the Outlaws, Alex Harvey, Spencer Davis Group, Joey Page, the Blues Giants, Long John Baldry and Rod Stewart, Jimmy Powell, Georgie Fame, Johnny Cash, Eric Burden, the One-Offs. Fantastic stuff. And then Brian Smith is pictured at the back of the book as well, and Brian with all the stars here. Fantastic. And there's a full index of all the photographs at the back as well. And of course, once you've got this, you'll probably want to look at some of other books from Easy on the Eye and from Simon Robinson. There's some great stuff here, especially The Art of the Bizarre vinyl sleeve, the worst record covers of all time, which I hope to cover as well on this channel. Anyway, I'll give a little bit more insight about the book now. So that's Boom, 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 the Boom Boom. The British blues boom from 1962 to 1966. I mean, isn't that amazing? And just like you'd expect for anything to do with Simon Robinson, you know, yes, you need to make sure you're wearing your spectacles if you need them, but this is densely text and there is nothing left unsaid. And the photographs obviously speak for themselves. But I think what I loved about it is the whole story about how Brian how he went from one, you know, just a small camera, then a camera that he just felt comfortable with, hanging around. This isn't London, bear in mind. This is just these bands coming to the north of England, you know, and Brian being there and snapping shots of the artists and just being around just for the sheer joy of being there with the artists. There's one section it really brings home, because again, back then, Brian would have been just taking pictures for the joy of having these pictures, and then obviously just probably people got hold of them. This part of the book here, this is of John Lee Hooker. It's such a famous photograph, but then all the CD covers that use the same image without ever trying to track Brian down to see whether they had the permission to use that picture. It just shows how many of these pictures would have been scooped up in those days, because now, of course, you have any picture online has got some kind of watermark over it. But back then, it was just the joy of being around the musicians. And of course, as it goes through, you've got the Stones and Richie Blackmore, as I said, but this is all about these famous, great blues guys. The other thing that I really enjoyed about the book was it reminded me of, this is why I think this kind of photography is so magical and so important. This book captures this so well, is that then, and this could be for me being slightly younger at that time to going through the 70s, is that you went to see a concert, and unless the official photographer, like Brian, had managed to get down the front, you only had your memory to take, you only had literally your senses to take a mental photograph, or with your ears and your eyes and maybe the program. But if it was just a pub gig or a club gig, that's all you had, and you went home and that was your experience. Now people sit or stand watching the concert through their device, filming everything, and thinking that when they get home, they'll experience it that way by looking back through what they filmed in a portrait manner, instead of just experiencing the music around them. It's very strange to me, that. But equally, I can understand wanting to have something to remember it by. And now all the clips will be on YouTube within seconds. But imagine then, the 60s, you go and see Chuck Berry at some club on a Tuesday night because your other mates didn't want to go out because they got to work the next morning. You can't take any photographs. There'll be no photographs in the press. You're there, you're listening to it in real time, and you come home and then you say to your mates the next day what it was like, and you've just got to rely on your memory, and that sticks with you, and any imagery that's in your head is just yours. And so these photographs are those kind of gigs where you think, I was there, or if I had been there, that's what it would have been like. And I think Brian's photographs are so, well, they're nearly all black and white. It's like film noir. It's like a picture. You can see what it must have, sense what it must have been like for these musicians who, couldn't get arrested, hopefully, where they came from in the US, and they came over here and they were happy to go and play in some random club in the north of England, outside of London, just because there was this buzz about the blues and R&B and soul and stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. I totally love this book, and if you're into blues music, this is an essential part of your music bookcase. Absolutely love it. It's out on easy on the eye. And yes, Simon does have a book on Machine Head in the works. I think it's all tangled up with the purple recent shenanigans over the accounting running off with the money or something. But this is out now, and it's superb. There are other books that Simon has done as well. I think he's done one on dodgy album covers, but this is a great historical document, because how many books are there on the British blues boom, especially from the people that made it? All these guys, sorry, before I finish, all these guys are no longer here. The John Lee Hookers, the Muddy Waters. In fact, Buddy Guy's the only one, and he looks, I won't be able to find it now, but I think I showed it you, how young he was then. But all these other guys are the legends, aren't they? The legends of the blues. Anyway, boom, 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 boom. The music, blues photography from Brian Smith, 1962 to 1964. That is out now. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe and ring that little bell thingy. Check out the website at nowspending.co.uk. Become a patron and a YouTube member, and you'll get access to the WhatsApp group, the private Facebook group, and our own virtual meetup at our own private pub called the Now Spinning Arms twice a month. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Please take care, keep spinning those discs, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.